welcome to Anywhere the Needle Drops. Hey world, it's Justin. You probably just heard me. Are you sick of me yet? That's right. We've got 2 episodes in the feed for you today, and if by chance you didn't listen to the first one, let me tell you what is happening. We are on our off week, and as we do sometimes on our off weeks, we dig into the archives. We go in the Wayback Machine, and we find some old episodes, and we tidy them up. We take advantage of the fact that we have a professional sound person in the form of the one, the only, Paul Clemson, doing his magic, and he takes the not so great work that I did on the technical side, way back in the day, in the early days of the show, and he cleans it up and he makes it sound oh so pretty. And that way you get to check out some old episodes. And we also do this in conjunction typically with a guest who has returned. And so Justin Wells was on the show recently, and so we thought we'd go back and grab both of the old episodes that he was on long ago and release them as remasters for you. So here we go. The episode just before this was the 2014 appearance of Justin with his band Fifth on the Floor. And then a couple years later, Justin was out there doing the solo thing, and we chatted on the phone for this one. And so that's what this is going to be. Again, diving into the Wayback Machine, going back to 2016, and getting to know one of our great friends, one of the best friends of Red Chuck, which is Justin Wells. Justin is currently out there on the road touring with his recent release, Cynthiana. That's a full album you can get on his website. Check that out in the show notes. Definitely get that. You can get it on vinyl, you can get it on digital, CD, all that stuff, and it's a great album. Definitely check it out. And also, you're going to get a taste of the song he was pushing back in the day in 2016 when we had this chat. He was pushing his first solo album, and this song you're about to hear is Going Down Grinnin', and then you'll hear my chat with Justin Wells all the way back in 2016. Enjoy. Here's to life.
I thought I did good, but you be the judge. I closed that door and bid back the grudge, like a worn out coat in a pouring rain. I'll tell you what I can to knock back the pain. You can hate me, Lord, for all my sinning, but I swear to God I'm going down grinning. I pass a paved road wherever it goes. Give me a destination that nobody knows. I'll go poor and I'll go young. and take what's left behind of myself and throw it all away. But I ain't leaving till I'm done. I ain't leaving till I'm done. If the needle in a haystack is the only chance I'll have, you can burn it to the ground for all I care, and take what's left behind of myself and throw it all away. But I ain't leaving till I'm done. I ain't leaving till I'm done. I ain't leaving till I'm done. I ain't leaving till I'm done.
That'd be killer, man, and just, get links to me and let me do things on mine. I'm sorry that I've been a little cluttered. I'm sorry I'm calling you late.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I couldn't remember if I was calling you or you were calling me anyway, so it's all good.
I think it was on me, and regardless, I'm on a different time zone in my head generally, so.
Hey, that's all right. Last time we did this, we had to sit in the van, so it's all good.
Well, if it gives you any nostalgia, I'm sitting in my car right now. That tends to be my office when my kids are up.
Nice. Yeah, it does. Actually, that is one of my favorite interview memories since I've been doing this. I think sitting in the van chatting with you it's definitely in the top 3. So.
Oh man, what a weird tour! And I think that night specifically, if I remember correctly, was things were starting to pull apart. I believe you may have seen the beginning of the end of my band.
Oh, really? I mean, I remember.
I'm not sure.
You guys. Go ahead. It was just a stressful time for any number of reasons, and there was no one thing, but certainly you could see the cracks. I believe, or I could. Yeah. I do remember it was. I sensed a little disarray, I guess. With things, but I just figured that was tour stuff.
Sure, it was. I'm sure it was that too. Who knows? that was a blur.
Yeah. That was good times though. It was cool to have you. First of all, just so close to home that show, because I mean, you guys were just really down the road from home. Usually, I'm in rural Michigan, so I have to typically drive to Chicago or toward Detroit, Grand Rapids area to catch a show. So to have you guys right there in Mishawaka, just a little bit down the road for me was pretty nice. So.
Yeah, man, and I don't know how far you're located from Detroit. I'm actually in Detroit Friday. If that's something you can make, let me know, and I'll make sure you get a couple passes, man. Bring your friend, whoever.
I would love that, but I'm actually heading the other direction this weekend. I'm heading toward Milwaukee because I saw that you were going to be in Detroit, but sadly I cannot make that, and I'm bummed because I would love to catch you with the new album and the new stuff. So.
You're breaking my heart, man.
Yeah, it's breaking my heart too. But you know what? We will connect again next time you come through town. So I'm dropping the heavy hint. South Bend, Indiana. If that's on your radar next time you're touring. So
it's on my radar for sure, man. Absolutely. Love to see you.
We've got some bunk beds down in the basement. So if you need a place to crash, we'll even set you up there. So
Deal.
All right. So how's everything been going?
Good, man. Busy. Yeah, definitely busy and exciting. And, we started tracking the record almost a year ago. So it's, the recording cycle being what it is, generally when it gets to your ears, it's long been in mine, and I'm certainly ready for everyone else to hear it. And it's been kind of this stutter step release, the people that did the Pledge music got to hear the whole album, which is cool. And, and I've had that for a little while. And now the iTunes pre-orders and such, those people are getting like a third of the album instantly, and the rest of it comes out, next Friday. So, or I guess this coming Friday if this goes up next week. So, it's cool. It's cool. I'm excited. I'm glad to be back at it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was a part of the whole Pledge thing, and I got back. I was on a hiking trip, a backpacking trip. Oh yeah, definitely, no problem, man. I mean, it wasn't even a question, first of all, when I heard about it. But yeah, so I was on this backpacking trip, completely disconnected from cell phones, internet, everything, for a little over a week. And the bright shining light in my inbox when I came back was my download code for the full album. And I was like, all right, it's good to be back in civilization. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So,
well, thanks again. I appreciate I was floored with the support so early on. A lot of people, probably yourself included, I had your money a year before you got your product. So that means the world,
Yeah. But, that's the magic of crowdfunding. I mean, it's a way that we as the fan can say, hey, we want you to be able to go make your music, and it doesn't matter what someone in some office says somewhere. We support you. Here's our money. Go make your art, and we'll be here waiting for you when you get done.
It's cool. It is definitely a double-edged sword, and it's not something I've ever done before. It's not something I've particularly been fond of in the past, but I do have a lot of respect for Pledge Music specifically as a company, because they operate with a lot of integrity in the way they put it together and the way they work. Strongly discourages, if flat out prohibits, kind of taking the money and running. You can't do that. They don't release all the funds to you. I'm still waiting on a lot of that, and I don't know. It just seems to be a lot more integrity, a lot more respectable artists seem to use that platform than others. So, I was a fan of working with them, and it certainly allowed me to make a lot larger project than I had anticipated making. So,
and I love
that. Definitely happy.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, I think it's really fantastic to be able to, as a fan, put my support out there. I'm a huge fan of the crowdfunding, actually. I mean, I know there have been some complaints here and there about it, but I've witnessed very few abuses as a frequent donator. I've done Kickstarter, I've done the Pledge Music, I've done Indiegogo, and I'm a big fan of artists on Patreon too. And for me, it's a way. Again, I just feel like I want you as the artist that I'm a fan of to make more stuff, and I'm glad to put up money first, and I've never been burned by any artist that I've given money to on that. So
it's not, man. And the fact is, from my perspective, two things. A, there's absolutely no way that with my funding, could have made this record in this amount of time. I could have and would have made this record, and it would have come out 3 years from now.
Yeah.
There's no way. But secondly, I'm a fan of anything that eliminates middlemen between, you and I, and me and Joe Blow out in Arizona, and me and, et cetera, et cetera. And the only other way this album would have come out is through label situation, and I don't know. I wasn't interested in that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and you get I have to imagine there's some artistic freedom there. I mean, I've got a friend, there's a musician in Baltimore by the name of Masno Almosiki. And a year or two ago, he did an album called Novella, and it was very much a concept album, and it was a mixture of a lot of different sounds from around the world, and it had coupled with it this book of art and stories, and it was sort of this big epic project that I just can't imagine walking into again some office somewhere and saying, "Hey, fund this," But I knew Masno, and I was like, "Hey, that sounds amazing. Here's my money. Please go make that now." So
that's it. That's it. It's a what I did, I like to phrase as a pre-order, or maybe a pre-pre-pre-order.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm certainly appreciative, and I'm very proud of the product, and I hope, you know, I've made kind of some social media postings about this, but it's certainly a misnomer to call this a solo record, given how many people from the funding level to the musicians on the record to, you know, the production engineers and mastering and all that. I've never had more people involved in any record I've made, and this is the 5th one I've made. So
Nice.
you know, the solo record is kind of. I'm happy to take all the credit, but it's simply not fair.
Well, that's all right. I won't tell anybody, so it's all good.
Yeah, maintain my facade if you don't mind.
So how was that experience? I mean, go into that a little bit. The idea of, you know, I mean, what came first? Was it, I just want to make a record. Hey, folks, will you support me? Or did you have a concept in mind? I mean, how'd that all go for you?
Well, it started with writing it, and, you know, I've talked about this a little bit, but the writing was born from not being sure what I was going to do. And this is always, I've never, ever had any other inkling of what I wanted to do with my life besides play music, you know, all the way back to high school and before. And so when the band did kind of go its separate ways, I mean, you know, it wasn't a total surprise, but it certainly wasn't anything I counted on. I mean, all my eggs were definitely in that basket. And so, you know, as that kind of pulled apart as a father and somebody who has to, you know, with my wife, put food on the table, I mean, I certainly had to consider what's best for my family, and that comes first. But, you know, I wasn't sure. So I started writing from that, and the songs are kind of born out of that uncertainty and that kind of frustration with, you know, the way things had gone, and missing the road and missing my family when I'm on the road, et cetera, et cetera. And once I had the songs together, once I knew that I've got songs, I've got to make a record, I'm certainly not going anywhere. I'm not good at anything else anyway. It's what people did. Then it was simply a matter of, you know, finding somebody with a like-minded headspace. I knew I didn't want to go make a Fifth on the Floor record without Fifth on the Floor. I didn't want to go make a Fifth on the Floor unplugged or, you know, acoustic sounding. You know, it just needed to be its own thing. The songs were different. My headspace was infinitely different. And so, you know, and that, you know, besides my manager, the first like-minded soul was my producer, you know, Dwayne Lundy. And kind of before that, my friend Tom Nato, who played the lead on the album and produced the last kind of Fifth on the Floor sort of like breakup EP, that 4-song EP that we did. You know, so once that was locked into place, everything else was falling like dominoes, you know, everything. We had a kind of little team, and that was essentially my band. And then we put together a studio band, and we had auxiliary musicians, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, running alongside this was a lot of, I mean, an incredible amount of support from you and everybody else from like the very ground floor. I mean, you know, not to be all corny or whatever, but, you know, a lot of us got together to make this thing. So it felt cool, man. It felt like I had, you know, a little army behind me.
That's awesome. Yeah. The Wells Army. I like it.
Yeah. Maybe we could call it something else.
All right. We'll work on that. So,
we'll figure out something.
Yeah. Yeah. So is there a lot of, you know, fan interaction in that? You know, obviously, you know, every once in a while as a crowdfunder, you know, I'd get a message from you saying, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. But how was that from your end?
I was as inclusive as I kind of could be without really just kind of, I didn't want to be annoying, but what I'm finding more and more, and I don't feel like I ever set out to be any certain thing or that we as Fifth on Floor ever tried to present ourselves as something that we weren't, other than kind of mad and insane in a certain way. But I've just found that everything about it, I mean, the songs are deeply personal. There's not a lot of metaphor. I mean, it's pretty literal. and it's just been an open window. I mean, from that, from those updates that you saw and some of the kind of Periscope things that I did, et cetera, all the way to like social media lately. I was just talking about this earlier today to, funny enough, a musician friend of mine in Baltimore. But I don't know. I feel like that all of this has been personal in a way that, I guess just wouldn't have worked with Fifth on the Floor. But it's just been an open book, and I'm talking about things with people that they seem to respond to. A lot of my insecurities in the last year and a half, and lack of direction, et cetera, and uncertainty, and I guess in the end, full-heartedness of what naivety.
Well, I think that sort of translates into the album itself. I mean, I don't know how much of it is, autobiographical, but I do remember pretty distinctly when you gave us a demo early on of, it must have been Going Down Grinning, I think. Was that the demo you released early on?
I think that's probably right. Yeah, that's the song that is much is as much a synopsis of the whole record as any of them.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily one of the first ones written, but I think it was indicative of what I wanted to do sonically and lyrically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so was there a general concept you were aiming for with the songwriting?
I don't think so. I don't think consciously. I mean, there's absolutely a running theme across the record, but I don't know that I set out to do that so much as, I mean, we definitely, once we sat down and looked at the songs that I had and the demos, we definitely cut the fat, in a way. I mean, songs that are perfectly good songs, but that didn't fit with this little family of songs that are on the record. So I guess in that process it was conscious, but no, I'm not a very out there writer. I think I'm pretty down to earth, and I was writing from some deep seated frustration and
Yeah.
that the uncertain footing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it came together, I mean, beautifully. It's definitely the most played album I've had since coming back from my trip. I mean, I've been loving it. It just cuts right to the bone, man.
Thank you, man. I think that people certainly seem to be responding to it, but it was, I am proud of it, and it had to be, because it is besides being personal, it's a slower record, certainly slower than the band was, and arguably sadder, if not a little triumphant. But I don't know if sad songs are sung this year, but let's cross our fingers.
Yeah, well, here's hoping for you. I mean, how was that going from the more of the heavier raucous style of Fifth on the Floor to doing something as raw and slow and sad as that?
We almost kind of set out to really not do the opposite necessarily. I mean, I love Fifth on the Floor. I love Fifth on the Floor, I think, more than anyone. I started that band and I was there every day, to the end. But I knew that I just didn't want to do that again. It would have been disrespectful in my mind, because, the majority of those songs were my songs, but that was a band. It was always a band. It was always, equal input, and that's what we came up with. So it would have been kind of disrespectful to me to really set out to reproduce that. What we did do was, there's a country influence to some of these songs, but I don't consider it, a country album or whatever. So we purposely put together a band that wasn't a country band, had the chops to play that style, but weren't steeped in it. We wanted to have some different perspective, and we really, I mean, there's a lot of really cool things happening in country music right now, but I don't feel akin to a lot of it. So I don't know. When we were referencing sounds and ideas and things like that in the production phase, we were as much looking at, anything from Black Crowes to Fleetwood Mac as we were any sort of country / Americana or whatever the, you know, popular name is right this second.
Well, yeah, and I think all of that sort of references the same kind of thing. I mean, there's certainly a range of sound there, but it is a very distinctly. I mean, it's sort of a storytelling, an emotional, a way of capturing emotion. It's sort of the American sound, and whether you go into the heavier rock aspects of it or to the pared down, you know, one man and a guitar, that is an American sound. All of that.
I think you're right. And you know, we also tried to kind of juxtapose the anger, because I feel like there's a lot of kind of simmering there lyrically and in my vocals, and where my headspace was at. So we wanted to offset that with, you know, a lot of, in my opinion, beautiful elements, the background singers, the Tom's pedal steel playing, the keys playing. I mean, you know, we certainly weren't making a grunge record, you know. But I think that I can relate emotionally.
Sure, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It makes it relatable. That is just it right there, because you have that, you know, even in the moments of anger on the album, there's that sound that sort of captures all of us. And, you know, I don't imagine many people listening to this album who can't put themselves in your shoes, you know, in the lyrics that you're writing there.
Or hopefully I'm putting myself in there. I mean, you know, this relationship between musician and listener is awfully one-sided, unfortunately. But, you know, I think that, especially right this second, with nothing but very general terms, I think there's a lot of kind of unhappiness and discontent. I don't know. I don't want to say unhappiness. I don't want to paint a bleak picture, but I think that a lot of people are frustrated with how things are going, from music to politics and so on and so forth. And what I feel like I'm seeing happening, at least in music, my little corner of the world, is honesty is starting to make a comeback, I think. And I, you know, I mean, naive, but I feel like that's happening all the way up to politics. And I think, you know, it might seem like there's a little bit of struggle right now, but I think that we're going to filter out the bullshit and, you know, hopefully that good stuff comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is kind of the cycle, and especially this moment that we're in. And, you know, forgive me if we discussed this the last time, but I do think there is sort of a turn back, as you referenced, to authenticity right now in music, in our daily lives. I keep on touting this theory, and I'm waiting for someone with some credibility to back me up on it. But it just seems like after the recession, when so many people lost out by playing the game the way they were supposed to and following the rules, you know, people still, they got the 9 to 5 and went to work every day and saved for retirement and still lost everything. I think people in the wake of that woke up and said, hey, I'm going to do something that means something to me, that's honest to me, regardless of the risk, because I did the safe thing and still lost.
That's it. There's a song on the record called 3/4 Gone that has a lot of personal meaning to me that I started writing. My dad, who could not be more, you know, the quintessential American dad. I mean, he's not missed a day of work in his whole life. He's always provided for his family. You know, we were never well off, but there was always food on the table. You know, the great American dad, 401k, retirement, et cetera, et cetera. And when the recession happened, I mean, this guy who's the on the right side of everything and the honest do-gooder, you know, saw his savings and 401k just demolished. I mean, the plan demolished, and he played by the rules. And, you know, I think enjoyed his job, but I don't know if he was pursuing his dream or not. He was doing what he had to do as a father and as a husband. And right around the time he was retiring, because his knees, you know, were really bothering, working factory all his life. And I was just frustrated with that. I was frustrated with everything about that, because I've never considered myself, you know, maybe certainly not the always do right and always have savings in the bank kind of cat, and Dad was, and that happened to him, so I was frustrated with it, and that's kind of what that song was born out of. Like, you know, what was the point besides fulfilling, you know, being a good father and being a good husband, but making a bunch of money for a bunch of fat cats. I don't know about that, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, there are so many people now, whether they're out there making music, making beer, making some other kind of art. I think people are just, you know, motivated now. And I see it, you know, like you said, there's definitely some angst in our culture right now, but I see an optimistic undertone to it, in that people are, you know, trying to figure it out and turn towards something with a little more meaning. And, you know, in music, you see it in that, you know, sort of, yes, we still have, you know, the Taylor Swifts, no offense to Taylor Swift, or those superstars. But I think with especially the internet, there's so much more rich music out there available to everybody. And I think that's fantastic, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. And really to really underline the fact that I don't mean to be painting a bleak picture here. I'm always optimistic. I can't imagine being in this business and being at my level after 10 years and not being someone who is optimistic to the point of naive. But I think that most importantly, its truth is starting to reign king, and sometimes that is angry, and sometimes, hopefully, most of the time that is happy. But at least it's not bullshit, you know.
Yeah.
Come and tell me that that 401k is not going to be there. At least then we've got a little bit of trust between one another, you know. don't take me on a ride, you know.
Certainly, yeah. So you said, what was that? I'm sorry.
It's far in the words. I said I don't really know what a 401k is. I don't want to pretend. It's a mythical beast.
You know what? It really is a mythical beast. It is a human construct. So, but that's a whole other discussion, I think.
Yeah. That's a whole other podcast, right?
That's right. Yep. For smarter people than myself, I know that.
Yeah, you and me both.
So you were saying 10 years in the biz. So what have you seen change in your in that time? That's a long time to be in the music business.
Mostly what we just discussed. I don't know. You know, the thing about Fifth on the Floor that I'm very, very, very proud of, but certainly made things harder for us, is we never really had any big brothers in the business. We, or at least not until maybe the last couple of years. You know, we just set out on our first tours, booking bars and honky tonks and, you know, Jack's Barbecue Shack, whatever, any place they would have us, man. And we made fans there. We didn't bring our fans to those rooms. Whoever was there sitting on the damn video poker, you know, that's who we were going after. And I think, you know, what I perceive was kind of a bit of a chip on our shoulder came from that. I mean, there's few things more disquieting than walking into a room of people that don't even hate you. They just simply don't give a shit, you know? So you kind of have something to prove. So it's really hard for me to comment too much on what's changed, because a lot of what we had and what I've experienced, we built. But I just think kind of what we discussed before, that I think that I'm glad I'm releasing the record I'm releasing in 2016 as opposed to 2006.
Yeah.
It's a better time.
Yeah, it's a timely record, I think.
I hope so, man. I hope it doesn't sound like that, though. I hope in 2026 it still sounds as good as I think it does now.
I don't think you have any concerns about that. It's a great album. I mean, are there any tracks in particular on there that just that stand out for you, that have any particular meaning more than the other ones?
They really all do. 3 Quarters Gone, the one I just mentioned, is that one, and Little Darlings, the song that I wrote for my girls. I wrote that song. I don't know if I commented on this publicly, but I wrote the song on a 12-week tour down in Gulf Shores, Alabama. My wife was in Kentucky, and I'd just been gone a long time. She was very pregnant and very close to very close to having our babies, and it was just a trying time. It was frustrating and hard on us, and we were broke, and I don't know, man. I just didn't even know him yet, but I wanted to do something, and I'd written that song and held on to it for years and years, and you know, it never was a Fifth on the Floor song. I didn't intend it to be anything but a song between me and my wife, but I got to give credit to, again, my friend Tom, who played all the leads on the guitars and the pedal steel and things. He heard that song and he's like, man, you got to put it on there. And I was scared to put that out there. You know, that was for us.
Yeah.
But in the interest of how personal everything already was, I don't know, it seemed to fit. And I'm glad that I yielded on that.
Yeah, I am as well. I'm glad you opened yourself up that way with that one, because, you know, it's funny you mention it. I've been playing the album around the house since I got it, and my fiance Kristen, she heard that track in particular, and that was the one she started asking me about. She was trying to figure out, is that about his kids? She kept on asking me, and it was that's a touching track. That's for sure. So second pass. I don't think it was the first pass. So I think it was the second pass, but it was very spur of the moment. There wasn't a plan. We just, one day when it felt good, my producer set up a mic and here we go. You know, there it wasn't, I don't know. I think we could have fought that thing to death, you know? Yeah. Sometimes you just have to let it flow.
My little twin girls, I will tell you another thing that I've not mentioned to anyone. We had their names picked out, and I wanted to sneak them in there. And so how I did it, the best way somebody of my limited means could do it, the line on paper would be, and I will always go like a Carolina snow, but I sing it, Anna, I will always go like a Carolina snow. One of my daughter's name is Anna Lee. The other one's name is Zoe Carolina. So
nice.
That's my little, yeah. And for obvious reasons, I have always and continue to struggle to play that live. It's a little much, but, yeah, man, that's definitely the one closest to my heart.
Yeah. Well, you did well with that one, as it definitely, it made a difference here in my, made an impact here, I should say, in my household. And now I'm gonna have to listen for that line change in there.
Yeah, man. And if you really want to find Easter eggs, find where I completely missed a chord altogether. Luckily, unless somebody's gonna kick my ass for mentioning that, but luckily I just didn't play anything rather than play a wrong chord. I just didn't play anything.
That's all right. I'm sure, I think those things happen all the time, and most fans don't even notice it, or if they do, it's like, oh, they did that intentionally. I think it's a rare occasion where someone's like, oh, they screwed up. So
you're absolutely right, man. I mean, especially back in the day when everything was tape and everything, it wasn't worth going back and doing it. But I don't know. With this, everything is just so laid bare. Let that be there too,
Indeed. Yeah, for sure.
You didn't notice it. That says a lot about my producer, doesn't it?
Indeed. Or about my ears at this point. I don't know.
Well, maybe everybody else has heard it and just hasn't brought it up to me. I don't care. It'll be our little secret.
There we go. We'll tell no one again.
Yeah. We'll let them know. We'll put it in a locked up vault and let them know in 20 years.
That's right. Indeed. Well, cool, man. Anything else about the album? Any cool stories or anything like that you want to share?
Man.
I mean, how's the tour going? You're out there on tour pushing it right now. How's that going for you?
I'm doing spots here and there, man. It's going back to a little bit of what we talked about earlier about kind of going into Billy's Barbecue Shack. I'm trying to be a little smarter about my touring. I'm not splitting the financials 4 ways anymore. That is part of it, and part of it is just these being a little more intimate songs, a little quieter songs. You know, it's a group effort on stage and off, and certain places work and certain places don't. So we're trying to be a little bit smarter and work on quality over quantity.
Well, I mean, if you get this way again, if you're passing toward my direction, South Bend, Indiana, or around the bend of the lake, they're heading toward Detroit. You let me know, because we'll set you up here for sure. Because
yeah, man.
I mean, we've got our own Jim's barbecue shacks around here to get you some fans. So
hey, I'll go play them. I'll go play. But the album seems to be doing well already, so I'm certainly optimistic, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon.
Definitely, man, for sure, yeah. And we'll, we're gonna put that pre-order link up with this, and hopefully get some more ears on this for you. Because again, I told you in the email, I have really been enjoying this album. It's been a treat to hear. It is one of my favorite albums of this year, and I listen to a lot of music, and it stands out. So.
Well, thank you, man. That really means a lot. You know, I appreciate you putting ears on it. This is how we're doing it. You know, we're pounding pavement on this thing.
Indeed. Well, cool, man. All right. Well, I'll let you get going back to what you're doing, and appreciate you taking the time to chat with me again. It was good having you on before, good having you back. So.
Yes, and thanks for having me, man. I look forward to next time.
You've been listening to Anywhere the Needle Drops from Red Chuck Productions. Keep up on new episodes of this show, our live events, and various creations and other happenings over at redchuckproductions.com, or by following us on social media at Red Chuck Productions. Special thanks to Hero Jr. for our theme music. You can check them out over at herojuniormusic.com. That is Hero, Hero, Junior, JR, music.com. A big shout out to Paul Clemson and Theory One Productions for handling sound duties and so much more. Check out their magic over at theory1productions.com. And a big thank you to Earthworks Audio for outfitting the Red Chuck studio. See their microphones and their other products over at earthworksaudio.com. Be sure to support all of our guests by visiting their websites, social media, clicking that subscribe button, seeing them live, and checking out their merch stores. Give musicians and artists your money. We'll be back with the next episode. Until then, thank you for your time. Here's to life.